Welcome to this daily PBJ devotional. Read 1 Chronicles 11 and 12 and Amos 7 today. This devotional is about 1 Chronicles 11. Then all Israel came together to David at Hebron and said, "Here we are, your own flesh and blood. Even in times past, while Saul was king, you were the one who led Israel out and brought them back. And the Lord your God said, 'You will shepherd my people Israel, and you will be ruler over them.'" So all the elders of Israel came to the king at Hebron, where David made a covenant with them before the Lord, and they anointed him king over Israel, according to the word of the Lord through Samuel. Then David and all the Israelites marched to Jerusalem, that is, Jebus, where the Jebusites inhabited the land. The people of Jebus said to David, "You will never get in here." Nevertheless, David captured the fortress of Zion, that is, the city of David. Now David had said, "Whoever is the first to strike down a Jebusite will become chief commander." And Joab, son of Zeruiah, went up first, and he became the chief. So David took up residence in the fortress. That is why it was called the City of David. He built up the city around it, from the supporting terraces to the surrounding wall, while Joab restored the rest of the city. And David became greater and greater, for the Lord of hosts was with him. Now these were the chiefs of David's mighty men, who, together with all Israel, bolstered and strengthened his kingdom, according to the word of the Lord concerning Israel. This is the list of David's mighty men. Jashobeam, son of Hachmoni, was chief of the officers. He wielded his spear against 300 men, whom he killed at one time. Next in command was Eleazar, son of Dodo the Ahohite, one of the three mighty men. He was with David at Pas Dammim, when the Philistines gathered there for battle. At the place with a field full of barley, the troops fled from the Philistines. But Eleazar and David stationed themselves in the middle of the field and defended it. They struck down the Philistines, and the Lord brought about a great victory. 3 of the 30 chief men went down to David to the rock at the cave of Adullam, while a company of Philistines was encamped in the valley of Rephaim. At that time, David was in the stronghold, and the garrison of the Philistines was at Bethlehem. David longed for water and said, "Oh, that someone would get me a drink of water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem." So the 3 broke through the Philistine camp, drew water from the well at the gate of Bethlehem, and brought it back to David. But he refused to drink it. Instead, he poured it out to the Lord, saying, "Far be it from me, my God, to do this. How can I drink the blood of these men who risked their lives?" Because they had brought it at the risk of their lives, David refused to drink it. Such were the exploits of the 3 mighty men. Now Abishai, brother of Joab, was chief of the 3, and he lifted his spear against 300 men, killed them, and won a name along with the 3. He was doubly honored above the 3, and he became their commander, even though he was not included among the 3. And Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, was a man of valor from Kabzeel, a man of many exploits. He struck down 2 champions of Moab, and on a snowy day he went down into a pit and killed a lion. He also killed an Egyptian, a huge man, 5 cubits tall. Although the Egyptian had a spear like a weaver's beam in his hand, Benaiah went against him with a club, snatched the spear from his hand, and killed the Egyptian with his own spear. These were the exploits of Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, who won a name alongside the 3 mighty men. He was most honored among the 30, but he did not become one of the 3, and David appointed him over his guard. Now these were the mighty men: Asahel, the brother of Joab, Elhanan, son of Dodo of Bethlehem, Shemath the Harorite, Helez the Pelonite, Ira, son of Ikesh, the Tekoite, Abiezer the Anathothite, Sibekah the Hushathite, Eli the Ahohite, Mahari the Netophathite, Heled, son of Bana, the Netophathite, Ithai, son of Ribai, from Gibeah of the Benjamites, Benaiah, the Pirathonite, Hurai, from the brooks of Gash, Abiel, the Arbathite, Asmaveth, the Baharumite, Eliabah, the Shalabonite, the sons of Hashem, the Gizonite, Jonathan, son of Shagi, the Harahite, Ahiam, son of Sakar, the Harahite, Eliphal, son of Hefer, the Mercherathite, Ahijah, the Pelonite, Hezro, the Carmelite, Nari, son of Ezbai, Joel, the brother of Nathan, Mibhar, son of Hagri, Zelek, the Ammonite, Naharai, the Beerothite, the armor-bearer of Joab, son of Zariah, Ira, the Ithrite, Gareb, the Ithrite, Uriah, the Hittite, Zabed, son of Ahalai, Adina, son of Shiza, the Reubenite, chief of the Reubenites, and the 30 with him, Hanan, son of Makkah, Jehoshaphat, the Mithnite, Uzziah, the Ashtarothite, Shammah and Jael, the sons of Hotham, the Ararite, Jediel, son of Shimri, and his brother Joah, the Tizrite, Eliel, the Mahavite, Jerubai and Jeshaviah, the sons of Elnam, Ithma, the Moabite, Eliel, Obed, and Jasiel, the Mezobaite. This is God's Word. The first of the 2 chapters we read today opens by describing David's appointment as king. It was the Lord who chose David to be king, of course, as verse 2b says. But God's people recognized and affirmed that choice after witnessing David's military leadership, and we saw that in verse 2a as well. Verses 4 through 9 described how David took Jerusalem and made it his home. Verse 9 concludes with this, and these are the words of the NIV from verse 9. And David became more and more powerful because the Lord Almighty was with him. This is the part that we all know. What follows in verses 10 through 47 is the part that we don't usually think about. It is a collection of stories about the chiefs of David's mighty warriors. We saw that in verses 10 through 25, followed by a list of the mighty warriors in verses 26 through 47. These men were skilled fighters and extremely loyal to David. Their loyalty to him and desire to please him led 3 of them to make a risky incursion into Bethlehem to get him a drink of water from the waters of home. We saw that in verses 16 through 19. These men gave his kingship strong support to extend it over the whole land as the Lord had promised, as we saw in verse 10b. David was a great warrior and leader, but he didn't win battles by himself. He was extremely successful because God was with him and because God used these men to accomplish his will through David. If you're a leader, who are the other leaders on your team? Who shares the work of leading with you? If the answer is nobody, then you need to ask God for help and to look around for others who could be developed into that role. If you're someone who supports the leader, a leader under him, or a foot soldier, you might say, are you devoted to your leader? Assuming that leader is a godly leader, one God approves of, would you do whatever you could, even taking on some risk like the guys in verse 19 did, to help your leader or leaders accomplish the will of God? These are great questions to think about if you're a leader or if you serve with the leader. I hope you will think about them. And I hope this passage will help you either strengthen your leadership or diversify your leadership or help rally you behind the leader that you serve. Think about that today, and I'll see you next time. May God bless you. Hope you have a great day today.